Cyril tweeted that he thinks you should be careful what you wish for, and he'll see you in Paris. How do you think you match up against Cyril?
I better be careful, apparently. Yeah. I think I match up pretty well against him. I think I'm equally as fast as him. I move equally as well. The difference is I can grapple. I've got a lot of power.
What happens when the fastest heavyweight in UFC history collides with one of the smoothest strikers the division has ever seen? That's the exact question Joe Rogan, Chael Sonnen, and fight fans everywhere have been asking about UFC 321 in Abu Dhabi, where Tom Aspinall will defend his undisputed belt against former interim champ Ciryl Gane. Now the odds say Aspinall is a big favorite. The analysts? They aren't so sure. And the fans? They're split down the middle. Because this isn't just another title defense, it's a fight that could decide the entire future of the heavyweight division. With Jon Jones sidelined, Francis Ngannou gone to boxing, and the throne left vacant, this fight isn't about who wins or loses. And as Rogan warns, Tom Aspinall might be a generational talent, but he needs to be very careful with Ciryl Gane.
So me and Cyril, we've been supposed to fight each other a couple of times before.
Similar age as well, you kind of both coming through, right? Well, he's a tiny bit older than you, isn't he?
I think he's a little bit older and he has a couple more, or at least he started his career in the UFC a little bit earlier than I did. I was trying to fight him because he was like kind of just a little bit above me all the time. Fight never materialised. He turned me down a couple of times, to be honest.
Let's break it all down. Heavyweights aren't supposed to move like Tom Aspinall. When most people picture the heavyweight division, they imagine giant men trudging forward with knockout power but limited agility. That's what makes Aspinall so terrifying. He breaks every rule of the archetype. Joe Rogan said it best, you want to talk about a guy who sprints, who moves like nobody else. That's Tom Aspinall. His speed is shocking. Watch any of his finishes and you'll notice the difference immediately. He doesn't just punch fast for a big guy. He punches fast, period. His jab, his right hand, even his level changes into takedowns.
All right, now, UFC 321, October 25th, Etihad Arena in Abu Dhabi. Tom Aspinall will face Ciryl Gane. Aspinall has 15 wins, and all of them are by finish. Gane is the #1 ranked heavyweight.
It all looks like it's been stolen from the lightweight division. This isn't random. From day one, Aspinall's longtime coach Colin Heron emphasized speed as the #1 weapon. Training out of Team Khabib in Liverpool, the same gym that molded Darren Till, Aspinall built his game around fast entries, fast exits, and fast combinations. The result is a heavyweight who doesn't fight like a heavyweight at all. He explodes. He closes distance in a blink, and before opponents realize what's happening, they're either on their back or eating clean combinations. This is why Rogan and others call him the next evolution of heavyweights. Think about it. Every generation has its prototype. Cain Velasquez was the relentless cardio machine who outworked everyone.
You know, there's the guys who I've trained with from my experience who in the gym are absolute killers, absolute world beaters. And they'll get in a fight and they'll just freeze up and it doesn't work like it does in the gym. They fight way worse. And there's other guys like myself, anytime there's pressure on me, that's when I've done my most devastating performances.
Stipe Miocic was the boxer-wrestler who perfected fundamentals. Francis Ngannou was the raw knockout artist with one-shot power. Now comes Tom Aspinall, the complete package, big, strong, but with the agility of a middleweight. He's the type of fighter you can build a division around, and his rise only adds to the mythology. He took a fight against Sergey Pavlovich on 2 weeks' notice. Pavlovich, at the time, was one of the most feared men in MMA, knocking out opponent after opponent in the first round. Everyone thought it was suicide. Instead, Aspinall slept him. That win didn't just give Tom the interim belt, it announced him as the guy in waiting. And when Jon Jones got sidelined, the UFC wasted no time elevating him to undisputed champion.
I saw Jones. We don't know if he was serious. Is he not retired anymore? Is he back in the...
You jump back in the pool, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Officially?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because they're not going to want to miss something like this. How sick is that for you that now you kind of got this White House event for them and it's like, I feel like this is what brings...
No matter who popped up or who didn't or whatever, we would have put on an incredible card.
That's a wide gap. Too wide, according to many experts, because while Tom has looked phenomenal, Ciryl Gane is still one of the most unique strikers the heavyweight division has ever seen. And if Aspinall doesn't take him seriously, If he thinks this will be another quick finish, he could be in for a rude awakening. Here's what makes Cyril special. At 6'5" and nearly 250 pounds, he moves like he's 2 weight classes lighter. He bounces on his toes, switches stances seamlessly, and throws kicks you don't normally see from men his size. Rogan pointed out one of his strangest techniques, that sideways twisting front kick. Instead of firing straight up the middle like a traditional teep, Gane rotates his hip, flicking it almost like a crescent kick.
You have a big level now. This is a new era for the heavyweight division, and you have some big movement. We're waiting for a big title fight with 2 GOATs. Maybe you're gonna retire it. So for me, the good way is to go back. It was my mission tonight to shining, to prove I'm still here and I want to go back to the belt. So
Against Tai Tuivasa, it landed again and again, throwing off Tuivasa's timing. This unorthodox arsenal is why he embarrassed Derek Lewis in their fight. It's why he's able to stay elusive, pick his shots, and make slower heavyweights look like amateurs. In terms of pure striking IQ, many argue Gane is unmatched at heavyweight. He reads distance, controls rhythm, and mixes kicks, jabs, and elbows like a veteran kickboxer. The problem? His ground game. Gane's Achilles heel has always been his grappling defense. Jon Jones exposed it brutally. 1 shot, 1 takedown, 1 submission. It was over in less than 3 minutes. Now, Aspinall doesn't have Jones's resume, but he has the tools. His top control is heavy.
Any tips? Any tips? Give me some body spots. Yeah. Give me some advice, man. Give me some advice. Any tips? Go to the wall. What's the wall? Go to the wall. Stay here. Not too much.
His ground transitions are quick. He's submitted multiple opponents and is more than capable of finishing Gane on the mat. Many analysts believe this is the path Tom must take. Don't stand and trade too long. Don't give Gane time to find his rhythm. Drag him into deep water on the ground, impose the wrestling, and end it there. But it's never that simple. Gane supporters argue that everyone is writing him off too quickly. Yes, his grappling has holes, but he's not clueless. He's been working on his defense, and if he can just keep the fight standing, he has the tools to frustrate Aspinall. They also raise an important point. We've never seen Aspinall tested in the later rounds.
Tom Aspinall, I didn't read it. I told you guys already, we'll get Aspinall versus Jones done. Jon Jones versus, the heavyweight fight will happen. Just relax, I'll announce that soon.
What happens if this fight hits the 3rd, 4th, or even the 5th? Does his speed hold up? Does his composure last? Gane, by contrast, has been there before. He's gone the distance, he's fought through adversity, and he's used his striking to slowly pick apart dangerous opponents. So while Tom is the favorite, this fight is no lock. And let's not forget the drama behind this fight. Aspinall claims Gane has ducked him repeatedly over the years. Whether it was scheduling conflicts, injuries, or other priorities, Tom believes Cyril avoided their matchup multiple times. This is actually the 4th time the UFC has tried to book them. Now finally, they're locked in. That history adds real emotion. Tom isn't just fighting to defend his belt. He's fighting to prove a point, to show he's the man who never turns down a fight, unlike Gane. But that kind of emotion can be dangerous. Fighters who enter too emotionally often make mistakes, and Gane, with his calm, methodical approach, is exactly the type to exploit that. This fight means more than just a belt. With Francis Ngannou gone and Jon Jones uncertain, the heavyweight division has felt leaderless. It needs a face, someone the UFC can market as the true champion of the world. If Tom wins, he becomes that guy. The British heavyweight who represents a new generation, fast, dynamic, complete. The man Dana White can build pay-per-views around. If Gane wins, he erases the stigma of being the guy who ducks tough fights and reclaims his place as a legitimate star. Either way, this fight reshapes the heavyweight picture. And of course, Jon Jones looms over everything. Jones is out injured, but his shadow is everywhere. If Aspinall wins, the pressure on Jon to return skyrockets. Fans will demand it. Rogan and every analyst will say, this is the fight that proves Jones' legacy. If Gane wins, Jon has the perfect out. He can say, why fight Tom Aspinall? I already destroyed the guy who beat him. Either way, this fight forces Jones' name back into the conversation, whether he likes it or not. On paper, it looks like a simple striker versus grappler clash, but the reality is much more layered. Aspinall has striking to rival most heavyweights, with some of the fastest hands in the division, and Gane has grappling defense that's improving, plus the footwork to stay elusive. Both are well-rounded. Both are dangerous everywhere. The X factors: Tom's ability to stay composed if it goes past round 2. Gane's ability to avoid the takedown long enough to find his rhythm. And the emotional stakes which could push one fighter into mistakes. This fight isn't just about gold. It's about legacy. If Aspinall wins clean, he becomes the man to beat in the post-Jones era. If he loses, the hype train derails, and the heavyweight division once again feels unstable. If Gane wins, he silences the critics, redeems himself after the Jones fight, and possibly earns a second chance at greatness. If he loses, he risks being forever branded as the almost guy, a beautiful striker who couldn't put it all together. That's why fans and analysts alike are calling UFC 321 one of the most important heavyweight fights in years. So now, the question is, what do you think happens in Abu Dhabi? Does Tom Aspinall prove Joe Rogan right and show us he really is a generational heavyweight talent? Or does Ciryl Gane's striking puzzle leave him exposed in ways we haven't seen before? Drop your predictions in the comments below. I want to see who you've got. If you're hyped for UFC 321, smash that like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns of the biggest fights in MMA. Because make no mistake, this isn't just Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. This is a battle for the soul of the heavyweight division. Thanks for watching. See you in the next round.